Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. If you watched us last week, I showed you a folio that you could make for either cards or stationery. There is a PDF there for the stationery. It prints a full page and you cut it in half, and how you can decorate it or not. So if you want to go back and look at all of those, they're there. But I did mention that you could also continue to make cards. This is coming from Frames and Flowers. It's one of those ephemeral ones. They had some 12 by 12, which I used to make some of these folios. Whoops, this is another one. This is another one that had pieces parts. And then the rest of them I just used plain cardstock. But I made 13 cards with some of them. And I have, I'll get this out of the way. This is what I have left. Very little. And I didn't decorate any or make any envelopes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with what I have left. There's seriously, this is the paper. That's all I have left. I used it up pretty well. So there's, you know, little flowers we can put on. I'm putting these aside so I can reach them. So let me go ahead and show you some of, what did I do with that other one? I think I stuck it somewhere. Apparently not. These are all stationary. I don't know what I did with the one. That's okay. There should be another one of these cards because there's 13 of them. So anyway, if you're on YouTube, if you normally wanted to see a project sheet, you would go to my website, stampmesilly.com. If you wanted to send me a private message, if you wanted to look at all my freebies that I put out there. And for instance, last week I had a PDF that has very light gray. I don't even know if you can see those lines, and it slice it in the middle and they're evenly distributed. It makes stationery that has lines on it so you can write, because I need lines when I write. I'm otherwise very crooked. So I'm gonna just show you. So here, when you decorate an envelope, you should either do it on the front, and you could use paper, but I don't have a lot of paper left. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. Now, if you're putting something on the outside of a card, do not use dimensionals because that will get caught in their automated machine. So, but do try to get like to the edges. Not thick because it's going to come over, but when you put the embellishment down, it should be the lower left because this is your return address. These are the stamps, and this is the electronic stamp. You've all seen them. They're bars and codes and numbers, etc. So here you have it, your first one. Now, for all of these cards, I will tell you, not the measurements, but also on my website, if you go, you will see, I don't know if this is the, no, I've still got that one. So anyway, you will see a cards and envelope size. And so what that does is it tells you A2, A7, and A10 cards. These are the A2 and A7 are the two that you usually do. It tells you the envelope size, what size to make the first layer, half layer, the first layer, 1.5 layers, 2 layers. This should say, it does say on the new one, 2.5 layers. I wasn't going to laminate it again, and 3. So what that does is, for example, the this one here, Pretty Peacock, is actually, is it a half layer or a full layer? Let me see. Let me measure it. It is 4. So it's a 1 layer. I'll show you some others that get thinner. But anyway, so this is layer 1. This is layer 2. And this is actually like this with an opening in the middle. And I just took to show you, I said using Saying Hey, Simply Said, and Hope You Know. Those are the different ones that I found sayings for to use. And it's truly deeply grateful. It's nice and straight. So that one went on there. And you could pair it up with an envelope. Then thinking of you, in this case, see, I only have an 1/8 of an inch border on there. This is a half layer. So the Calypso Coral is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then, I don't know if I did, this was already cut this way. I mean, it's a frame. The center is actually something you can punch out, but I glued it down so it would stay. And it's already 3 3/4, which is the second layer size. So you can decide again what you want to do. This one is another one where I used the half layer, so there's just barely a border around it. Used 2 different ones, found a little stamp that I center in there. Oh, here's the Truly Deeply Grateful. And this one I only used 1 layer, and it was the first layer, so this is a 4. No. So what I did was I wanted a thick border on this one, so I didn't use the first layer. I used the 1 1/2 layer, and that gave it a bigger border going around. And this is one of the frames that was available, and I stuck Thinking of You inside in a little bobble. But again, none of these are like mysteries. This one I did half layer, first layer, so that they're very tight in there. Again, used a frame and found a sentiment that just fit barely in there, and put a little bobble on there. Another wreath, that's why it's called frames and flowers. So then there's 2 here that I used. I didn't decorate the insides of any of them. I didn't want to waste my pretty flowers because I used them up. This one, if you go back and look at my magic punch, this is the same punch. The first one is the inner one, and then I just punched 2 more, cut the middle, and pulled them out until they were completely bordered, and that helps bring out the color that goes around the outside. This one is just a little note, just a note. It's very simple. This is also a frame. A lot of them, I could have punched out the center, but there was no sense. It's got a little bit of a heather tone to it rather than the plain white, so I just left it there. Make sure you glue right around the outside of this as well so that it stays down. Then Wishing You Comfort, using the oval. This is another one that you can do the magic thing where you've got multiple layers on the outside. Again, using lots of the DSP. I love this one. This has just got the 1 layer on there, but what a simple card, real quick. All of these cards are so quick. You literally look at it and go, okay, I have a sentiment that fits in there. Let's do that. And then, let's slap it on a card, and whether or not it needs a backing or not. And so I had 13 cards, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, but yep, 13 cards. In 2 hours, I made all of those folios. And again, you can use the folios, that's last week's post. But instead of paper, you could go ahead and put, a few cards in there. It makes a beautiful Mother's Day gift or a birthday gift. And if you didn't like the amount of space because it's shorter, then I believe, what did I say? You could, in the other post, I put it in there. I think you would cut off 3 inches. So it would be 12 one way by 9. And you would still score it in the same location. So you have a deep groove and just cut off the top part, and then it would be a much smaller folio, but it gives you probably more flowers to play with because you don't have to use as many. That's all I have. I have these few things left. I'm going to be putting some flowers on envelopes and then packing them up to be put somewhere really cute. I still have lots of little ones that'll go well on frames. Some of the bigger ones obviously won't, but I'll just make a few more cards. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a question in the comment. I'll be sure to respond. If you have any questions, you can again send me something in my email at jandufour@yahoo.com. If you want to shop, you can go to jandufour.stampinup.net. If you're on YouTube and want to go to my blog, go to stampmesilly.com. That's where all my free things are. Thank you so much for letting me into your home. I enjoyed this one so much. I had to do like both of them at the same time. It was awesome. So give it a try. It's a very inexpensive way to make bunches of gifts and cards that you can give away for Easter, Mother's Day, birthdays, all kinds of things. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Bye.